Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills for you to level up your way with words and become much more articulate. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome aboard. Every day of the week, I am dropping brand new content on how to improve your communication skills. So if that is a topic that excites you, be sure to hit that subscribe button right on below. Hit that bell notification and never miss another video again. In today's episode, we are going to keep it somewhat general. We're going to be talking about why worrying is caused and a very simple exercise on how to fix it. You could apply the exercise right before a moment when you have speech anxiety or right before you have a moment where you have social anxiety. It's a very versatile trick. The number one reason that we worry a lot is because we lack information on a topic. Imagine if someone just gives you a gun right now and says, "Here, do something with it." And you have never fired off a gun in your life. What is the first thought that is going to come into your mind? You're going to think that you may die. What if you accidentally shoot yourself? This is a reasonable thought to have, especially when you lack information on the gun. On the other hand, though, let's say I put you into a gun training class. You go through the entire class. You know how to pack it, how to unload it, how to fire it, etc. And now I give you the gun. Are you still worrying about it? No, because at this point, you have information and clarity in regards to the subject. One of the reasons that we worry a lot is because we don't know what the future is going to be like. Therefore, due to the negativity bias of the brain, aka the fact that we think negative thoughts because our ancestors had to survive, the negativity bias plus the inability to know the future leads to worrying. And here's the thing, worrying gets a very bad rep, but it's not always bad. Sometimes you are worrying because you should be worrying. In one of my videos called Only the Paranoid Survive, which if you are watching from TV, if you're watching from TV, you actually have to type in "Only the Paranoid Survive." But if you're watching it from laptop, I'll link it right here. In that video, I talk about how only the paranoid survive, especially the more disruptive that your field is. You got to be somewhat paranoid. You got to worry every now and then to look around the corners. If you're always Mr. Gratitude, then you're not going to worry. And when you don't worry, then you are going to be demolished by your competition. So all worrying is not bad. Worrying only becomes bad when it is crippling you rather than giving you creativity. How can we stop allowing the worried energy to cripple us? This is where the exercise comes in. The exercise, my friend, is what I call the crumpled paper exercise. We used to do this every now and then in Toastmasters, where whenever a new speaker was nervous to get on stage for the first time, we would give him a piece of paper and we would tell him to write out everything that he's feeling. Why exactly is he so freaking nervous? And then he writes it down. Once he writes it down, he reads it back to himself. And once he's done reading it back to himself, he crumples it up and throws it away. That is the exercise. Then we ask the new speaker, "How do you feel?" And he's like, "I feel amazing." Why did this work? The reason that this worked is for a few reasons. Number one is because this guy turned ambiguous energy into clarity. Because a lot of folks, whenever they're worrying, they're just like, "Oh, I'm worrying. That's about it." And then they react. But when you forcefully write yourself a note on why you are feeling a certain way, it turns that ambiguous blob into structure, into information. And information kills a lot of worrying. That's what's happening to this guy. And when he's writing a lot of this stuff down, he's like, "Wait a minute. I was reacting to something ridiculous. I actually thought that if I made a mistake, that other people were going to be thinking about it for the entire month. That's what I thought." And once he writes that down, he realizes what a silly thought that was. So that's one reason the crumpled paper exercise works. It turns ambiguous energy into information. And the second reason that it works is because we're throwing it away. When we say, hey, look, we're going to throw it away once you're done, so you might as well just be transparent, the other person has incentive to be transparent because now he doesn't feel like he's going to be exposed for whatever reason. We're not saying, here, write it down, and afterwards we're going to make you read it in front of the club. We just say, just write it down, read it, then throw it away. That's all you need to do. And once you do it, you'll feel very strong for whatever reason. And that worried energy that you had right before your speech, your social event, whatever, slowly begins to melt away because you are slowly adding more information into this ambiguous energy. Worrying is not always bad. It only becomes bad when the worried energy does not make us more creative. Instead, it cripples us. Try the crumpled paper exercise and unleash your inner creativity. If you enjoyed today's talk, go on and drop that like for me right on below, and I'll catch you on the next episode.